Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Om. Adoration to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in 13th chapter, known as Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. The yoga of distinction is the field and the knower of the field. Field is all that has evolved out of Prakriti. Your body, mind, intellect, ego, your whole personality. The knower of the field is Brahman, Prakriti and Purusha. These two are the main constituents of every individual. And the whole description is highly mystical. Prakriti is only Maya, cosmic illusion. Just like a magician and his magical power are one and the same. Brahman and Prakriti are one and the same. The ultimate reality is Brahman alone, absolute. So keeping that point in view, presently the topic is what constitutes wisdom, jnana. How do you know that a person has attained wisdom? All those characteristics are termed as jnana. And we have already taken the topic, and I'm just reiterating two of the verses. Absence of pride, absence of hypocrisy, non-violence. These are the characteristics of jnana. I'm just begun, so it's not finished yet. Forbearance, uprightness, service of Guru, purity, steadfastness, self-control. These are indications of jnana. And continue with these indications. Dispassion towards the objects of the senses, absence of egoism, reflecting upon the evils associated with birth, death, old age, disease, and pain. I've reiterated these verses. Already meaning has been given. Presently, Gita 13th, verse number 9. Asaktirana vishwangaha putradara grihadishu nityam cha samchittatvam nishthanishto papattishu. Non-attachment, asakti, same as anasakti, and deeper understanding must be developed. Generally, people hear the word non-attachment and they run away from the family, friends, to far distant ashram. This may be a disciplinary method, but this is not real non-attachment. The ideal non-attachment is an internal understanding that you are not the body, mind, intellect. You are Satchidananda. And similar insight must develop towards others. You can be very loving to your near and dear ones, but your love should be directed towards God that abides in them. And understand the difference between moha-based love. Moha-based love is directed towards external aspects of your personality, how you look, how you dress, and many other implications. While in practical world, that stage of relationship will continue, but it will become like a wave, superficial. The deeper level, constant recognition that God is being loved in your son, in your daughter, your father, in your mother, husband, wife. And God is being loved in your friends and near and dear ones. Quickly said, but it's a progressive movement. But this ideal has to be hammered on your mind. Asakti. Am I getting attached? Am I getting bonded by externality? And it is for this sake of practicing non-attachment that people take sannyasa. And that also becomes a means to attaining the ideal of non-attachment. And according to degree of spiritual evolution, souls, people in different stages become initiated into sannyasa. Brahmacharya, ashram, there are 4 stages in life. Brahmacharya, state of celibacy. Grihasthashram, householder state. Vanaprastha is a kind of retired state. And then, going beyond all, is sannyasa. All these become the field for practicing non-attachment. Firstly, led by your karma, good karmas and higher degrees of evolution, you begin to develop degrees of non-attachment. And if you are highly advanced, highest degree of non-attachment can develop even while you are young. Nachiketa was very young, 5-year-old, but he was enlightened. Next quality is absence of mindness towards one's son, wife, house, and the like. In other words, reducing your me and mine. This is the purpose behind mantras. Nama, neither me nor mine. But me relates to egoism. If ego is purified, then your me relates to Brahman in you, and mine relates to all that is divine. So towards all your relations and possessions, do not hold back the illusion that they are mine and they are glorifying me I am so great because all these are mine. Constant equanimity of the mind in all circumstances. Nityam cha samchittatvam, chitta in a state of samatva. Equanimity. This points to four gatekeepers: Shama, Santosh, Satsang, Vichar. Serenity, contentment, divine association, and practice of reflection. Who am I? All these are blended together. So when you are developing Nitya Samchittatvam, when you are developing that equanimity of mind, you are as if going through the gates to liberation in a profound way. Equanimity of mind in all circumstances. Circumstances can be adversity or prosperity. Both are spiritually constructive for a spiritual seeker. Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koe. For those who are not highly advanced, they turn to God when they are under distress, facing very bitter challenge. But when the challenge is over, now their mind is after eating laddus. I'm joking. Mind is after eat, drink, and be merry, and be after worldly pleasure. But not so if you are spiritually sensitive. If you are in agreeable situation, you become more involved in japa, more in practice of your asanas, pranayams, japa, meditation, all the sadhana, and you consider it is a great opportunity. Mai chananya yogena bhakti rabhyavicharini vivikta desha sevitvam atir janma jana sansadi. Unflinching devotion to me through the yoga of inseparability. Ananya bhakti. Ananya bhakti, let me give you some outline, is bhakti with God, of God. But in practice, you are led by different stages. Sagun Sakar, Sagun Nirakar, Nirgun Nirakar. All this I have been explaining before. And in the first stage, your mind goes after so many gods. God as Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Rama, Krishna. If you are in this stage, you are lacking unflinching devotion. You are lacking Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means you get initiated into Ishta Mantra and consider all gods and goddesses have different aspects of the same central deity that you have chosen. God is one and absolute. All different gods and goddesses, you worship them, you are perfectly free to worship them according to your feeling, according to your heart. Upasana is an act of heart, is an artistic movement. And you can choose any aspect of God. Early in the morning, you can choose sun god. Gradually, you may choose Lord Narayana or Lord Shiva, or Durga Devi, Lakshmi Devi, Saraswati Devi. But while choosing different aspects, never develop the idea that we're moving away from Ishta Devata. Rather, if your Ishta Devata is Rama, then by worshipping Durga Devi, you are intensifying your love for Rama. By worshipping Lakshmi Devi, you are intensifying love for Rama. Because Rama is the absolute reality behind all deities. Deities are different angles of the same divine self. If you have that type of understanding, that is called Ananya Bhakti, Abhyavicharini, unflinching devotion to me through the yoga of inseparability, abiding in inner solitude. And where do you abide? You abide in the virtual state. The modern world has taught you what is meant by being virtual. I'm joking, but the idea is to understand that your deeper I am is separate from your body, mind, intellect, ego, but that's an advanced way of talking about it. The progress has to be gradual, leading to absolute internal detachment, abiding in inner solitude. And that is secret of enjoying serenity. Though active in daily life, involved in the practice of integral yoga, but in a rhythmic manner, action, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, all these are four aspects of your personality, and they must be in accord like the strings of a veena. And the more you are in accord, greater is your internal union with God. When you are hearing a lot of discordant sounds, there are so many things to hear. But when you hear melody and your mind is being led to ecstasy, you don't hear so many sounds. Your mind simply begins to melt. And that's what we mean by abiding in inner solitude. Not delighting in company of the worldly minded. Remember, worldly interaction is in 4 stages, which are handled by 4 attitudes: Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. Maitri towards equal ones, towards those who are similar to you. Develop friendliness. Those who are progressing more than you, develop joyousness. Those who are lesser than you, in a degraded state, develop compassion. And those who are extremely perverted, wicked, negative, develop complete indifference. So keeping that in view, do not live to enjoy evil association, or do not live to be helplessly drawn to negative association. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam Etad jnanamiti proktam ajnanam yadato nyatha. Ever devoted to the knowledge of the self, allow your mind always to be alert, sajag, like keeping your mind awake to higher reality. Don't get lost in your daily challenges and problems. Ever be too devoted to the knowledge of the self. Experiencing the result of Tattva Gyan. The result of Tattva Gyan is being free of mala, vikshepa and avarana. Mala is gross impurities. Vikshepa that creates mental distractions led by subtle desires. Avarana is the veil of ignorance. And all these are called knots of the heart, granthis. And jnana removes these granthis. And ajnana is opposed. All these virtues I have described. Counter movement is ajnana, ignorance. So instead of looking for how can I remove ignorance, continue to cultivate divine virtues. And subtle secret of developing virtue is the mantra of 3S: suppress, substitute, sublimate. You do not fight against your negative trait, but distance yourself from it. Look at it and recognize that it is negative. Look at it that you are suffering from a headache. This is not a pleasure opportunity for your head to put a balm on it. But it is a headache. You are going to cure it with patience. But apply balm, but with the idea of curing it. Jneyam yat sat pravakshyami yad jnatva amritamashnuti anadimat param brahma na sattan na sadvutyate. I will relate to you that which is to be known, knowing which one attains immortality. All this jnana you are developing, jnana lakshanas, imply by developing these virtuous qualities, you are securing that you are on the right course leading to enlightenment. And if these virtues have become perfect, you are enlightened. But if you continue to say you are enlightened and you are void of these virtues, that's just a joke. In other words, you are not really enlightened. That doesn't mean you should be discouraged. You continue to practice your yoga, integral yoga, more and more. And to the extent you are able to control your body, mind, to that extent you are securing your progress on the path of enlightenment. Sarvatah panipadam tat sarvatok shishiro mukham sarvatah shutimalloke sarvamavritya trishtati. With his hands and feet everywhere, his heads, eyes, ears and faces everywhere, that Brahman dwells in this world, permeating all. Now, the state of attaining enlightenment is being brought before your view. In order to have that state, you must discover that God is the permeating reality. In order to wake up from a dream, you must discover that it is you, your waking consciousness that has been expressing in the form of your dream triad, the dream subject, the dream objects, the dream interaction. All these were nothing but you. But here the real you is the divine self. Real you is same as Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. And that Brahman, in order to realize I am Brahman, there are stages. First stage is Vibhuti Yoga. To see God's presence first in things that are impressive. Beautiful blossom is impressive. Now turn your mind to God and adore God through the blossoms. Adore God through rainbows and so forth. The world has so many striking expressions of glory. So much so that the Kanakana me hai Sai Ramata, that every particle of this world is viewed by you, is permeated by God. And next step, I am that all-permeating God. That God has 1,000 heads, 1,000 arms. And finally, I alone am. This is the picture of attaining wisdom. Sarvendriya gunabhasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam, asattam sarva vrityaiva, nirgunam gunabhakbhra bhoktricha. It is Brahman who illumines all the senses, at the same time transcends them. He is detached and yet is a sustainer of all. He is devoid of the gunas and yet he is their enjoyer. Now we are coming to more direct revelation. Where is Brahman? You don't look for it elsewhere. What's the light of lights in your personality? Senses are the light. Through the senses you experience the world. But senses will not give you the experience unless there is a mind behind it. So mind is the light behind the senses. And mind will not work with precision if there is no intellect behind it. The intellect is the light of the senses, of the mind. And light of that intellect is cosmic mind. And the light of cosmic mind is light of all lights, Brahman, the Absolute. So how close you are to God, you can't imagine. So all your perceptions, all your experiences, pleasant, unpleasant, all are illumined by light of God. And that light, just like to say, sun illumines all its illuminations. Countless reflections of the sun, they are illumined by the sun. Countless illuminations are illumined by the sun. But the sun in itself is untouched by all these illuminations. Sun is beyond. So, The innermost reality is beyond all these illuminations created by senses, mind, intellect, ego, chitta, transcending all and yet sustaining all. He is devoid of the gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Three gunas keep the soul involved in the world. Tamas leads the soul to its demoniac state. Demoniac qualities begin to develop due to tamas. Rajas is not so demoniac. In Puranas, they described as asura. And those who are advancing, they come under in Rajas state. And more advancement is done by sattva. Think of the Ramayana, in which Ravana is tamas. Rather, Kumbhakarna is tamas. Ravana is rajas. Vibhishana is sattva. And all the three, how they function in your life of sadhana. Ultimately, all the three are transcended. Sattva, rajas, tamas. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha shukshmatvat tadavidjeyam durastam chantike tat. That Brahman is within and without all that exists, the animate and the inanimate. Because of his subtle nature, he is all permeating. He is not known through the senses. He is distant for the ignorant, at the same time very near for the wise. How near is the very essential nature of one who is enlightened. And with this I will conclude it for today. Om Ram 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 Ram. Om Shri Krishnaya Namah. Om Shri Krishnaya Namah. Om Shri Krishnaya Namah. Om. And prayer for shower Karunamaya of the grace of God over all of you with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukma Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyam Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.